Hi everyone, I'm Sunny and welcome to the Reid Society. So if you own a smartphone or have any access to the internet, you probably know what TikTok is. But in case you don't, it is a video-based social media app where people just post videos about everything and anything. And there is a community on there that talks about books. And it is often referred to as booktok, which is the contraction of books and TikTok. And with the rise of TikTok this past couple years, we also have seen a big growth in this community, and there are more and more people joining booktok or just consuming content from booktok creators. Some books have gotten really popular over the past couple years thanks to this book community on TikTok, and as a result the sales of certain books have spiked so quickly. And while personally I've never bought a book because TikTok recommended it to me, I just so happen to have already read some of the books that are very popular on there currently. So today I decided to rank them and give you my unrequited opinion on them. I mean, is it really unrequited if you clicked on the video? Technically, if you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you chose to click, so it's not unrequited. So I'm gonna give you what you asked for, my opinions on those popular TikTok books. So I have created a tier ranking system, so let's explore it and let's get started. So the first one is called Talented, Brilliant, Incredible, Amazing, Show-Stopping, Spectacular. It is a reference to the Lady Gaga meme. If you haven't seen it, do you even use the internet?
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
But obviously this is quite self-explanatory. This is the one where I will put the best TikTok book recommendations I've seen, the books that I've read and that I think deserve all the hype they're getting on TikTok. The second one is, it was a nice read. Like, I don't have any bad blood with it. I enjoyed reading the book, but I wouldn't like go around everywhere and like recommend it to everybody. It was a nice read, period. Then the one in the middle is meh. I don't really get the hype. So it's not a book that was necessarily terrible or that I hated, but like it was just there. I wouldn't like go bash it. I won't go protest for the book to be removed from shelves, but also I don't really get why it's getting so much attention on TikTok. Then the one before last is not my cup of tea, or I had some issues with it. So it's a book I personally didn't like, or I find some problematic stuff with it that like kept me from really enjoying my read. And so in that case, like I wouldn't recommend it. And the last one is why? Just why? Because I don't know why anybody would recommend that. So yeah. Also, before we get started, please keep in mind that these are my opinions. Don't crucify me because I hate your favorite book. Don't like try to come at me because my favorite book, you hated it. Like, this is my opinions.
That's my opinion!
But if you like hearing opinions from strangers, then feel free to keep watching because I'm gonna start ranking them now. So first book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Jenkins Reid. And let me tell you, it's going to the first tier. It's amazing, talented, brilliant, show-stopping, spectacular. It is everything that booktok claims it is. It is surprising, it is well written, it is a page-turner, it is enthralling. It does have some type of diversity. I mean, it could, like, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil, but what a lovely read. And if you haven't read it, you definitely should. And if you have read it and you don't like it, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that I have better taste than you. Then we have All the Bright Places by Niven. I like that read. I'm gonna put it in It Was a Nice Read. I'm not putting it in the first tier. but I do get the hype that it gets. Like, it was a nice read. I enjoyed it. I have some minor issues with it, like some people think that it romanticizes mental health issues. I understand that point of view. Personally, I didn't feel like it was being romanticized, but I know a lot of people do, which is why I think it's a little bit tricky to recommend it to other people, because it can be difficult to read, and maybe someone with mental illness issues might romanticize some aspects of it, which is not a good thing. So it was a nice read for me personally in my current mental state, but I wouldn't necessarily go around and recommend it to everybody and their mama. Then we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and once again it is going into the first year. Talented, brilliant, incredible, show-stopping, spectacular. It is so worth the hype. I know there's a minority of people who didn't like it, and like, it's totally okay. Not everybody can have the same taste in books, but I know it gets a lot of really good reviews, and I think that the good reviews are totally justified. It is a good book, and I'm not that much into like young adult fantasy anymore, but this is one that I would definitely reread, even though it's not a genre that I gravitate towards anymore. So yes. Then we have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and I hesitate. Part of me wants to put it in the first tier, but also I've read it like so many years ago. And like, I don't remember much of it. Like, I remember the gist of it, but I'm not still thinking about it to this day. So I think I will put it in "Twas a Nice Read," but it's kind of in between. Like, if there wasn't a category in between, I would put it there, because it's a really good book. Totally recommend it, but I'm not sure if I reread it now I would find it show-stopping and spectacular. So let's put it in "Twas a Nice Read," but keep in mind that it's a really great book and I recommend it. Then we have Call Me By Your Name by André, Aciman. I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with this book. I think it is so beautifully written. I think it draws such a it has such beautiful imagery. When I read it, I could almost feel like I was in a little town in Italy, drinking prosecco and swimming, and it is so beautifully written, and I love the themes that it explores, like the themes of first love, discovering your sexuality, feelings of rejection, feelings of confusion, but the age gap, I just can't. It just makes the whole thing so icky to me, and I don't see a reason for it. Like, it would have been so easy for the author to just like make them, it would have been okay, like a small age difference, and they are both minors or they are both adults. But here, like, yeah, someone who's in their master's degrees has no business being with a 17-year-old high school student, and that's way too icky for me to like preach it. So I'm gonna put it in my I had some issues with it rank. I loved reading it, but this was in the back of my mind and like bothering me, so I wouldn't like hype it up or recommend it. Next we have Conversations with Friends by Rooney. I finished reading it just a few days ago, so it would be a little bit hard to know. It was definitely a nice read, but was it talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular? I'm a Rooney ho, so I'm gonna put it there. But yeah, I think it was really great. I don't think it would be everybody's cup of tea because of the way it's written, and it's very much more character based and reflective, and you really get into the psyche of the character. But plot wise, like if you like something action packed with lots of plot twists and just like very plot based, then you probably won't like it. But because I like reflective, dark girl in her 20s being totally confused by life, I put it in the talented, incredible, amazing showstopping. Then we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Jenkins Reid, which is the same author as The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I'm gonna get crucified for it because I know everybody and their mama loves this book, but it wasn't all that I expected. Like the plot of the book and like the description, the synopsis, it sounds like it was written for me. It's in the 70s, it follows a rock band and gets into the drama of the band and the relationships, and like it's just like the most dramatic interview ever. But something about it didn't hit me quite as much as it seems to have hit other people. I expected so much more from it, but also it wasn't a bad read at all. So I'm gonna put it in, it was a nice read. Like, it wasn't bad, but I didn't have the time of my life. So yep. Then we have Educated by Tara Westover, and I don't even have to think about it. It was show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, never seen before. It was a memoir, but it touches on so many important subjects, and subjects that we don't really get to talk about that often. Like, I don't think there are a lot of books with a similar story, especially memoirs, so this is a true story, but it is so beautifully written and with so much poetry that it almost feels like fiction, but it is non-fiction. And even if you're not into non-fiction, I think it's definitely worth the read, and I understand why BookTok recommends it. Then we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Once again, just like Aristotle and Dante, I've read it years ago and I don't have the best memory, so based on my memory, I would put it in meh. I don't really get the hype. It's not like a bad, terrible book, but like there are better books. I mean, I was entertained reading it, and I was definitely touched by the subjects that it deals with because it does deal with domestic abuse. So I gotta respect the author for that, especially because she drew things from her actual life, and so it must not be easy to write a book inspired by things by trauma that you actually have experienced. But I don't know, I think I might put it in, it was a nice read. Yeah, I'll put it there. It was a nice read. Like, I can understand the hype, but I think I'm a little bit unsure about this one. I'm gonna put it there for now, and I might change my mind later. We have We Were Liars by Lockhart. So this one has been all over BookTok. I think it's probably one of the books that I've seen the most on the book side of TikTok, and I don't really get the hype. I'm so sorry. I know it's a lot of people's favorite book, but like, it didn't do it for me. I was kind of bored, to be honest. I know that everybody is like excited over it because there's like a huge plot twist, but the rest of the book, for me, it was so boring that like the plot twist just didn't faze me. I was like, okay, and what about it? And also, yeah, I just don't get the hype, and I'm very easy to please in terms of books. Like, just look. So far I've ranked everything in the first 2 tiers, and I haven't put anything very negative yet. I'm very easy to please in terms of books, but this one just didn't do it for me, so I'm sorry. Then we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Not to be like every other Dark Academia bitches, but talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular. I love this book. It was worth like all 600 pages of it, all very long descriptions in this book. That's something I usually hate, but in this book I've loved it. I believe that Donna Tartt is a master of words, and I know that this book to a lot of people comes off as pretentious, as kind of the whole Dark Academia community, I guess. But I think that it is pretentious if you take the book quite literally. I mean, it's about a bunch of super pretentious know-it-alls who are rich and white and super privileged. So yeah, when you read it, you're like, okay, this is pretentious as hell. But if you have big brain energy, you will dig a little deeper into the book, and you will notice that the author isn't so much like glorifying or praising that kind of behavior, that kind of pretentiousness, but she's actually drawing a satire around it. Like, if you read between the lines, you will realize that Donna Tartt isn't so much glorifying this pretentiousness as she is condemning it and calling it out. And when you really look at the book, if you read it, you will notice like all of those really pretentious people, at the end of the day, it leads to their downfall. Like, their downfall is because of that pretentiousness and thinking they can do anything they want because they have money and they're super smart. So that's why I love it. And I don't know if any other people agree, but I think a lot of people who count it as their favorite book do realize that it's kind of a satire. Then we have Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and I'm gonna put it in "'Twas a nice read." Like, it wasn't my favorite book ever, but I had a really nice time reading it. I liked the plot twist. I was actually surprised by it. I think some people saw it coming. I didn't, for once, because I usually see plot twists coming. And yeah, it was entertaining. Then we have Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. First year. It was so good. So damn good. I read it quite recently, but like I think I finished reading it 2 weeks ago, and I still think about it a lot, and I still find myself mentioning it in conversations, and that's kind of how I know a book like is really good to me, is when I think about it after I finished it. Because sometimes I'll finish a book, it was entertaining, but I get along with my life and won't think about it again. And this one I still think about it, so first tier. Then we have They Both Die at the End by Silvera, and I'm gonna have to put it in I don't really get the hype. Yeah, it wasn't. I reviewed it already in my quarterly wrap-up video that I will link somewhere on the screen, but it was entertaining. Like, it kept me busy while I was reading it. It kept my mind focused on something, and I was like just following the story, but I didn't like, I wasn't you know, when you read a book and like it takes up your whole body and like you're super into the story and super invested. I wasn't so invested. I was just like, I read the audiobook, I was just listening. I was like, okay, yeah, I see you, but it wasn't like I see you, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't really get the hype. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Then we have The Cruel Prince, and okay, so personally, because I became a sim for every character and I loved like fae stories, I would put it in talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular. But because objectively, like if we remove the fact that I'm a simp, I think 'twas a nice read. Like, it was written, like, it is entertaining, it is engaging, but I think there are books that are written better. I think there are better books out there. Like, my personal connection to it would be first tier, but objectively, and if I'm telling you people watching this video whether I recommend a booktok book or not, whether I think it is worth the hype or not, I would put it in 'twas a nice read. Then we have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I would put it in not my cup of tea. Like, it's not bad. I get that it gets like that it's recommended to people a lot, but personally it took me a lot of time to get through it, to like really feel engaged in the story. I think that the subjects that are talked about, which is OCD, is really important, especially because the author himself deals with it, so he wrote from personal experience, and it's not something we talk about a lot, and a lot of people are very misinformed about what OCD is. So I think it's a good thing that this book was written, and I think it will like teach and be valuable to a lot of people. But the whole plot, I wasn't really invested in it. I didn't really care for the characters. I didn't really care about like the whole mystery, finding out like something that they're looking for in the book. So not my cup of tea. I wouldn't not recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend it either. Then we have My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular. I loved every single second that I've read this book. I know a lot of people finding it boring, and I get that. I totally get that. Once again, kind of just like Sally Rooney's books, it's the kind of book where if you like action-packed and plot-based books, you will probably despise it and be so fucking bored the whole time. However, if you like character-based books where you get into the mind of the character and you're more interested in like reflective books and, you know, hearing other people's thoughts and just following the personal growth of a character, even though it's not through like super rocambolesque plots, then you will like it. It's my kind of book, so to me it's talented, brilliant, incredible. But yeah, if you like action-packed books, don't pick up this one, you will probably hate it. Then we have The Song of Achilles. I haven't finished the book, I started it, so it's a little bit hard to rank it. I don't know why I put it on the list, honestly, since I haven't finished it. But I think, so far, I'm like a little bit less than halfway through the book, and so far it's really good. Honestly, so far it's really good. So it's in the top tier. It's in the top tier, okay? And we have What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. And I'm sorry, but once again, I don't really get the hype. The book, like, I found one of the two characters super annoying. I wasn't really invested in their relationship. I was annoyed and rolling my eyes a lot of the times. And I also think that the writing was like a little bit cringy sometimes, like the dialogues. Yeah, I don't get the hype. So what have we learned about myself, my taste in books, and about BookTok recommendations through this process? I think we have learned that, first of all, in terms of books, I am really easy to please. I didn't put one single book in the why just why section. I kind of wish I had a book to put in there just for the drama, just to be like controversial, just to be like, ooh, I hate this book, and if you like it, I hate you too. Like, I wanted drama, okay? I'm so sorry I didn't deliver. If you came here for the theatrics, well, try again next video. And it's so weird of me to be disappointed that I didn't hate a book. I should be happy about that, but just, you know, for content, do it for YouTube. I might find the book I hate just for this video. So yeah, what we learned about BookTok recommendations is that, in my opinion, most books that are very popular and very much recommended on TikTok are worth the detour. They are worth reading. They might not be everybody's cup of tea. You might have to do a little bit of research about the book or the plot or the synopsis or the general vibes of the books before spending your money on it or your time on it. But in general, I think it's safe to say that BookTok has pretty nice taste in books, and that while there are some problematic parts about this community on the app, and while some of the recommendations are not all that good, in general it's a very good thing, and it's a beautiful community, and it's so nice that it's encouraging more and more people to get into reading. So yeah, in conclusion, BookTok is a bop. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow my personal YouTube channel and this YouTube channel, and also follow us on Instagram, subscribe, turn on post notification, all that. Stay safe, stay lovely, stay reading, and see you next video. Bye.